Hey everyone, this is Carla. Welcome to an all new episode of Projectized, the project management show. And in today's episode, I'm going to talk about 5 reasons to use project management in a pandemic. So, I would like to welcome all live and replay viewers. And if you've been watching Projectized for any period of time throughout this year, you would know how a lot of people are asking for project managers throughout this pandemic. According to Glassdoor, project manager is the number 4 job, and according to LinkedIn, project manager is the number 3 job. Why? Because where they're going from in person, which is also offline, to online during the quarantine, back to phase reopening, or any type of hybrid situation, people need project managers to manage that. And so I wanted to use this episode as an opportunity to talk about the 5 reasons why you should use project management for a pandemic. And the number one, well, in these orders, the number one is time. Time is the most precious commodity you can't get back once it's spent. And what project management does is provide you with a system and a way of organizing your people, your money, your resources, everything that you need in order to get things done. So, number one reason is time. The second reason is cost, as I mentioned, budget. Time is also money too. And especially when you have to scale back or use a skeleton crew or use something like disaster recovery or continuity in operations, which I also talked about when you don't have your full staff and you still have to deliver your key projects or products and services. Project management really will help you in that delivery phase, regardless of what type of life cycle you use. So in project management, there's 5 development approaches. So one is predictive, which is also called waterfall, traditional. Then you have agile, and then under agile, you have iterative, then incremental, and then you have a hybrid approach, which is a combination of agile and predictive. So having those are 5 different approaches or life cycles. You have to look at the fact that regardless of whatever you choose, it is a way of streamlining your costs, of making sure that you can sustain your current situation. Like I mentioned, whether or not you have everybody back or you only have your essential people back, project management will help you manage your costs a whole lot better. The third reason is scope. So scope is what's you're working on, what's included in like your mission statement, your value statement, what you're delivering, and what's excluded. Why do you put what's excluded in scope? So that when someone comes around, usually a stakeholder, and a stakeholder can be you, the project manager, or your project team members, would come through and ask for something that's explicitly out of scope, you can point back and say it's out of scope. So focusing on what you primarily deliver on to your customer is essential. And that's why using project management is very important right now, because you can keep everything within scope and just keep the main thing the main thing. And by doing that and focusing on what your customers really want, that's a way of staying in business and delivering and using project management in this pandemic. Number 4 is quality. Now, quality is a big thing. The first 3 were about the triple constraint: time, cost, and scope. And now we're getting into number 4. So number 4 is quality. And in quality, it's the certain standard or the specification that your customer wants. And yes, in the middle of the pandemic, your quality is something that really shouldn't decrease. Now, the delivery or the quantity or how much you have of your product and services you may be able to deliver. But if the quality isn't there, then your customer will go off. Give you an example. Say you had a restaurant. Obviously, if they give you a stay at home order, that means that you can't have people in the restaurant. However, the quality of the food should still be the same, whether or not I eat in person or I order it online. through DoorDash, Grubhub, Seamless, Postmates, Tricaviar, any of those things, I should still be able to have the same quality of food. So even though in a pandemic, quality still can't be compromised. And that's a fourth reason to use project management. The fifth reason to use project management in a pandemic is risk. And a lot of businesses have gone under because of the pandemic. But risk, it can help you, whether it's qualitative risk or quantitative risk, whether or not it's residual risk. Say something happened, you implemented a risk response, and there's still a little bit of risk left over, which is residual risk, or you addressed the risk that happened, you did a response to the risk, and now you have a new risk, which is secondary risk. But risk management, especially in a pandemic, whether or not you have some type of COVID testing, contract tracing, or you're online, uh, risk management is very important. A part of project management is something you can use in the pandemic. So these are the 5 reasons why you should use project management in a pandemic. This is the end of Projectized. I always shout out to people who are live. So on YouTube Live, I would like to shout out Syndicate J for watching me live here on Projectized. Remember, you can catch me on Projectized Mondays through Fridays, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube Live, Instagram Live, and Periscope at Carla R. Jenkins. I'd like to thank everyone for watching, and